Okay. Welcome to the Ashamed podcast. This is going to be the first podcast that is recorded with a real microphone, and not my phone. And this is also the first podcast that is on YouTube and not Google Drive. I'm going to be spending about the first 3 minutes talking about that before actually getting into the topic of this video, so settle in. Video, podcast, same thing. The reason why I switched over to YouTube as opposed to staying with Google Drive is that Google Drive was a lot harder to manage and work around on a computer. Google Drive is quite easy on a phone because you just need to select the file and upload it. But Google Drive on a computer is a bit harder for me to manage, and I'm not very familiar with it. And I'm already familiar with the YouTube interface. This is still going to be a stupid podcast. This isn't going to change the style. It's still primarily meant as a sort of, if you know me, then you'll listen to this, rather than something that I would make to show people that I'm not, familiar with or I don't know. I'm pretty sure the majority of these videos are going to be unlisted, but this one's going to be public, just so anybody who sees it understands what's going on. Okay. So, now, into the topic of this video. I'd like to, start it with, I am not a professional. I am a child. I'm 14 years old. I do not have a degree in art or, design. I'm not even taking it for GCSE. I have no idea what I'm talking about. I'm just somebody who has an opinion on this. If you could hear that, that was a door closing. So, into the topic. I'm going to be talking about flag design. This is quite a well-known topic. People have talked about it quite a lot. I've picked out a couple of flags which I'm going to talk about. These flags are going to be showing up on screen for you. We'll edit them in. That's also another reason why I'm doing this on YouTube as opposed to Google Drive. Because I can edit stuff on screen for people to see. Anyways, so let's start with it. So just as a main guideline, there's the NAVA or NAVA if you're retarded, which made 5 basic principles for good flag design. The first principle is simplicity. Keep it simple. It should be simple enough for a child to draw it from memory. If the flag is too intricate, then it doesn't really work well. And, basic rule is a child should be able to draw it from memory. Second principle, meaningful symbolism. The images, colours, and patterns on the flag should relate to what it symbolizes. Principle 3, use 2 or 3 basic colours. If you have a bunch of colours on a flag, it kind of looks ugly and overdone. It's not a very sort of nice thing to look at. So, 2 or 3 basic colours are sort of the standard. You'll see in things like the British flag, it's red, blue, and white. Same thing with the American, the Star-Spangled Banner, which is red, blue, and white. Those sort of flags, they only have 3 basic colours. Number 4, this one is less important, I think. Well, it's still one of the principles, but I think it's less important. It says no lettering or seals. It says never use writing of any kind or an organisation's seal. I still think that a flag can look nice with a seal or with lettering. I guess that's just kind of going back to the keep it simple. You don't want the seal or the lettering to be so intricate that a child won't be able to draw it from memory. But overall, I kind of give lettering and seals a pass. And principle 5, be distinctive or be related. You shouldn't have a flag that's the exact same as another flag, but you can use things like similarities to show connections. I think that goes with the American red, blue, and white, along with the British blue, red and white. They're the same colour palette to show that they are related, but they are definitely different flags. You can tell apart even if they do have the same colour scheme. Nice. So now we are going to be going into the flags. Also, there's a whole, it says over here, a 16-page full colour booklet, written by the NAVA, about flag design. I'll put a link to it in the description. Yet another reason why I'm using YouTube. I can put things in descriptions, so that'll be in there that you can see. So now on to the actual flags. I've picked a couple of good flags and a couple of bad ones. I'm going to go over some of the less good ones first. So I'm going to start with Haiti. Haiti's flag, if you're not looking at the screen right now, it's split in half. It has a blue top and a red bottom, and in the center there is a sort of clip art sort of picture. It really does look like somebody just went onto Microsoft Word and got clip art. It's just a square with a weird coat of arms. It's really small. It's not big enough for you to properly recreate it. It's too intricate for it to be a good flag design. And the colours are not nice to look at. It's not a nice flag. It's not aesthetically pleasing. Which is kind of the whole point of a nice flag. You want it to look nice. So, that's that. Next flag is Maldives. I think the Maldives and Haiti have kind of the same problem, where, not with the intricacy, but with just the fact that it looks like somebody put clip art on it. The Maldives flag, it's a red background. Inside the red background there is a green rectangle, and inside of that green rectangle there is a moon. It just doesn't look nice. It looks like somebody took two flags and merged them into one worse flag. So, that's that. Gonna move on to some flags that are slightly better now. Kiribati. Some people say that this flag isn't nice or it's too complicated. I just think that it's nice. It's not nice. It's okay. It's not a bad flag, but it's not a good flag. It's intricate, but not too intricate. I think children would still be able to remember this and draw it. It's a pretty... Well, I think the colour scheme is pretty good. And it has a design which is used quite heavily in terms of their... So, that's that. Next, the flag of Bhutan. People don't think that it's a nice flag, but it's just a cool flag. It has a dragon on it, which is always a plus. And that's that. The next flag is Kyrgyzstan. I chose this flag because I think it's one of the first flags that I think is, actually a nice flag. It's slightly intricate, but not to the amount where I would say that somebody wouldn't be able to recreate it. It's just, well, if you don't know, it's a red background and then a yellow sun in the middle. It's a nice flag. I'll give it to him. Now moving on. Mexico. It's a nice flag. It's just nice if you look at it. It's fun to look at. It has a good crest in the center. Going back to the NAVA guidelines, it says no lettering or seals, but the Mexican flag has a seal in the center, which is quite intricate, but it still looks nice, so it kind of overrides that. Next flag, Japan. I think Japan probably has one of my favourite flags. It's very simple. It doesn't take effort to remember how to draw it. It's just a circle. It's not hard. Next flag, the United States of America. I think that the United States flag is not nice. It sucks. It's just an ugly flag. It's not ugly, really. It's not bad to look at. It has a pretty okay colour scheme, but it's just too intricate. Who has the time to draw 50 stars when you could just draw a red circle? I think this is one of the cases where the seal is too intricate for it. It's too intricate and it doesn't look nice enough for it to actually matter. Next flag is Vietnam. Vietnam has a nice flag. It's, if you don't know, it's a red background and it has a yellow star in the middle. Has a good colour scheme. Really, nothing else to say about that. The Chinese flag as well. That's basically just the same thing, but with the stars in the top left corner. It's nicely designed. What else do you have to say? Next flag is Jamaica. It's a very solid flag. It's nice. It's got a good colour scheme. The only bad thing about it is that it is the Jamaican flag. Next flag, North Korea. I actually think this flag is pretty okay. It's not a bad flag. Also South Korea. It's just a nice flag. It's kind of intricate with the lines, but it's not super intricate. It's a nice flag. Next flag, Canada. It's a nice flag, and it has something that represents Canada, the maple leaf. Truly a symbol of Canadian resolve. I have read in places that people think that Canada is one of the worst designed flags, but they're wrong. Now that we've gone over some real flags that people actually use, I'm going to go over the flags of either city-states or states. I've chosen two different types of two different countries of flags, sets of flags. And I like to go over them because I've chosen Japan and America. Japan is known pretty well for having very nicely designed city-state flags. I think that they all kind of look like the Overwatch team symbols, but I mean the Overwatch team symbols are designed pretty well, so they got that going for them. But if you look at the American state flags, they really do just look like a mess. Half of them have really, really ugly seals. Back to the thing with seals, then fine if the seal is nice. They're not fine if the seal is not nice, or if it doesn't make sense. I think for Japan, I'd probably say my favourite is, I don't know, Osaka is pretty nice. So is Chiba. And Hiroshima as well. Hiroshima I actually think is probably my favourite. And Hokkaido. Both, they're all just well designed. They look nice, and the most important thing is, even though they don't have the same colour scheme at all, Yamanashi, that's like purple, white, and yellow, and Chiba is blue and white and yellow, and they look completely different. You can still tell that they're part of the same set. They have the same sort of design. Well, not design, but they have the same sort of, I don't know how to explain it, it's like same sort of elements. But if you look at the American state flags, they all just look completely different. They're all the worst. I think probably the only well-designed flag out of these is maybe New Mexico. New Mexico and Texas are the two well-designed flags. Maybe even Alaska, if you're really pushing it. Alaska, New Mexico, and Texas. 3 out of 51. 51? Yeah, there are 51 states, probably. Whatever. Well, 3 out of 50 or 51. It just... I think the most representative of the American sort of set is California, because it's so close to being a nice flag. If you got rid of the text, they have the bear, they have the simple color scheme, and then they ruin it by putting State of California blazoned across the bottom. I'm pretty sure if the United States... if that's not a sentence, I'm pretty sure if the Americans weren't given very, very specific instructions on how to make their flag, they would have just had a piece of white paper that had "This is America" in Comic Sans. Because, it doesn't... They just put text everywhere when it isn't needed. Same thing with places like Kansas. It just has Kansas on the bottom. And Montana, it just has Montana blazed across the top. It doesn't need it. You could probably tell them apart without having the Montana symbol. That's a different thing. They all have blue. Every one of the flags, well, the majority of the flags, have at least one segment that is blue. But they're all different shades of blue. They couldn't think of one blue. I think the most clear one is Alaska and Oklahoma. I'm actually not sure what Oklahoma is. I'm pretty sure, I'm probably going to be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's in Central America, which is pretty far from Alaska. And Alaska wasn't even part of the United States until... think the mid-1800s. I might be wrong. But they have completely different blues, even though they came after each other, and something could have been coordinated. Same thing with Oregon and Pennsylvania. They are so close to having the exact same shade of blue, and they managed to mess it up. I don't think a single one of them share the same shade of blue. It's astounding, really, how much they messed it up. Because, it's something that could be really, really simple to fix by just giving each state a new flag, but it's very clear that America won't do it because America hates change. They still use the imperial system. But back to the Japanese city flags. I'm going to talk about them more because I like them. Every single city-state that has a flag has a well-designed flag that fits with the others. I'm pretty sure that these weren't made at the same time. They came at different times. And they still managed to have some consistency in the sort of design, where it's sort of a silhouette and it's clear not what it's trying to be, but what shape it is. Something like Saga, you can sort of see, well, I think at least, that it looks a bit like a flower. That kind of works. I think Saga has sort of flower fields. I'm going to be wrong about that too, but that's fine. This isn't a talk about flowers, this is a talk about flags. And so there's just a sort of consistency between them. It makes sense even though they don't have the same color schemes. You'll notice that they have different colors of blue. Osaka, Shiga, Yamagata, Chikawa, Fukui, Ibaraki, all of them have different colored blues, but they still all look consistent and nice together if placed next to each other. Some of them have very similar symbols. Hokkaido, Saga, and Kyoto all have sort of flower shapes. but they're still different enough to differentiate from them, and it makes sense. If you just drew the symbol in the middle, you could tell which one was Kyoto, you could tell which one was Saga, and you could tell which one was Hokkaido, despite them all being the same sort of shape. Whereas with the American state flags, if you, I can't tell them apart. I can't tell half of them apart, and they have the name of the state on them. Again, back to the Japanese city flags. There are 0 words on it. Wait, I'm gonna actually double check that. Shikawa has something that almost looks like an R, but that is it. And there's definitely no hiragana or katakana on any of them. It's all just clean. It's a nice set of flags. Somebody, I'm gonna put a source to it. I'm gonna put, the creator of, this set of redesigned flags. And they're all really nice. I think they're all kind of simple. Well, they're not all kind of simple. They're all kind of the same. They kind of blend with each other. But they're still all nice. I wouldn't say that any of them are badly designed flags. If a country had them, I would say that, any of these flags, if a country had any of these flags, I would be completely fine with saying that they are well-designed flags. They look nice. They have a simple colour scheme. They're simple enough for somebody to recreate it. So yeah, looking across the board, America is very close with making a few good state flags, and it is very far with other states, like Wisconsin. But the redesigned flags look really good, and there's really nothing that you can say against them. And the Japanese city flags are really nice to look at. And that's pretty much all. I'll need to think of an outro of some sort. Well, I guess that's it. I don't know, since I'm doing this on YouTube now, like and subscribe and absolutely smash that notification bell to get updates whenever I release one of these new epic podcasts. Again, all of the links to things that I've mentioned before are going to be in the description, along with a set of the American state flags, a set of the Japanese city flags, and the redesigned American flags, and the NAVA website, along with their good flag, bad flag design sort of booklet. But that's all. And goodbye.